Hi guys, Illuminite here with another Age of Empires 2 battle. This was a 2 versus 2 in Black Forest with good players only. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more videos. The more of you that like this, the faster I'll upload. Don't forget to check out my other Age of Empires 2 matches as well. See, the first thing that I start working on is I grab my sheep first, and I put pretty much all of my villagers on sheep at first. I like to get 6 villagers on sheep. If you're not very good at keeping your food up early on, I would recommend putting 7 villagers on sheep. After I get 6 villagers on my sheep, I start to work on my lumber camp. There's really a lot of personal preference involved with what you're doing early on in the game. You just really like what works best for you. As you can see, I am hunting boars. You really don't have to do that, but if you want to work really fast, they're good to have because giving you that extra 340 food means that you don't have to make farms. As you can see, I just made like a cut there. One of the main reasons to hunt boar and deer is that it saves you farms, because farms cost a lot, 60 wood, which can be a lot early on because you probably don't have a lot of lumberjacks. And for anyone who's struggling, I would recommend keeping the lumberjacks to a minimum. In the Dark Age, you probably want to wait, until, 7 minutes in to start putting more lumberjacks on there. I mean, you probably only need 3 early on. Lumber is not incredibly important in the Dark Age. It's definitely all about getting your food up. If you're having trouble getting a faster castle time, one good thing to do is to get farms up in the Dark Age. You generally want 5, more is always better. I'm still trying to find what works for me. But in general, if you get 5 farms in the Dark Age, then you can spend less time in the Feudal Age. So in general, for those of you who don't know, Black Forest, the typical strategy is to fast castle. It really depends. You can rush, but usually that's not recommended. Fast castle is getting to the Castle Age as fast as you can, and then pumping out town centers and villagers so that you get a really good economy, and then duking it out with the other guys. One of the ways to do this is to spend as little time in the Feudal Age as possible. You want to do what needs to be done in the Dark Age. So essentially what you want to do is you want to set up everything so that when you get to the Feudal Age, you have enough wood that you can build a blacksmith and a market. Usually those are the 2 buildings, but obviously there's plenty of room for variety. And you'll, by the time you get to the Feudal Age, you want to have pretty close to 200 gold and 800 food. Now, if you're like me and you want to be clever, I tend to, once I build my market, I sell my stones so that I don't need to focus on gold in the Dark Age to help speed it up. Normally, the amount of villagers you'd advance to the Feudal Age with is 27. It really depends on how good you are. I mean, there's lots of room for variety. I advanced with a lot more than usual. And the reason is because civs were on random, so I ended up getting the Turks. So I decided that I'd probably go for a Turk rush. And what really influenced my decision mostly was my opponent. I did a little scouting, and I realized the guy on my side was Planet Earth. And I know him. We're friends. I know pretty much everyone in this particular match. So I know that he is pretty weak to that kind of stuff. He is a good player, but he's tends to be pretty vulnerable to the quick sort of attacks. So I decided that I would go for a Turk rush. It's worked on him before, so I figured why not. And the difference between a Turk rush and normal fast castling and booming and stuff is that you want to spend more time in the Dark Age so that you can spend less time in the Castle Age. Pretty much no matter what you're doing, unless you're rushing, is you want to spend little time in the Feudal Age. If you're going to make lots of farms to get your food to advance, which is totally possible if you want to, start that in the Dark Age. Now, as you can see, I had plenty of resources I could have advanced now, but due to some crappy planning on my part, I did not have enough villagers on wood. I should have had more villagers on wood. That was a flaw on my part, but it's really no biggie. The trick with the fast Imperial Age, which is what's considered a fast Imperial Age, is before 30 minutes. The idea is to surprise the other guy, because nobody should be expecting that. Obviously, advancing with such low villagers, as you can see my pop right now is not that high, is, your economy is a lot weaker, but it's the element of surprise that you're hoping for. Is you want to catch the other guy off guard while he'll still be building up and you won't be ready for it. which is why I decided to Turk rush. What you always want to do when you hit the castle age, regardless of what you're doing and regardless of your skill level, you gotta make at least another town center in the castle age. Like that, yeah, I can't stress that enough. No matter how good or how bad you are or how experienced you are, you gotta build at least one extra town center. And the reason is while you're advancing to the Imperial Age, you want to make sure your town center is doing something. Like you have to be able to, get villagers out too. You have to be able to use that time. You can't just sit there and wait for it to go by, because while you're spending 3 minutes doing nothing, the other guy's spending those possible 3 minutes getting ready to kick your ass. So I got to the Imperial Age a little slow, but that's cool because even though I was a little slow, that just means that my economy is a little bit stronger. I get up the archer ranges, the siege workshop, and start dishing out guys. You can see I have a huge excess in gold. That's partially because poor villager distribution on my part and the fact that Turks mine gold a lot faster. Bombard cannons are absolutely amazing. They've got really good area of effect. They're essentially a mobile trebuchet with a lot less defense, but what they've got going for them is the mobility. And you can see it just decimates the palisade wall because of the area of effect. One good thing about Turk rushing is that you can, with the hand cannoneers and the bombard cannons, you can stop the other guy from walling, which is good. Planet Earth definitely walled way too close to his base because he let me get away with this. Although you can see that if you are the kind of person who is vulnerable to early attacking, you got a wall, because you can see that that wall has slowed me down for easy 3 minutes now. If that wall wasn't there, I probably would have steamrolled him. You can definitely see from the scores that Turk rushing definitely does hurt your economy, and that Plumbum score is really high. He's a really good player. Oh yeah, so I obviously have been making a few cuts throughout this video because the actual game was, it was just over an hour, as a lot of games tend to be. I tend to try and upload the closer games, so they tend to take maybe a little longer than an hour, so I have to edit some parts out. But as you can see, he definitely does not have much of a defense going on here. He's got a couple unupgraded skirmishers, which really aren't threatening. And he's got like a knight or two, and knights are pretty obnoxious. I made one mistake here, leaving my bombard cannons unattended, and I immediately fixed this. I immediately sent all my troops back to go watch my bombard cannons. You always need to keep some troops to keep the cavalry off your siege. I also used my scout to keep a lot of his skirmishers distracted, which is nice. Yeah, you can see that I've gone back to guarding the bombard cannons, because they're really expensive. Like, they're insanely expensive. You can't afford to lose them. Definitely some players, I know some players are like, addicted to skirmishers, and while skirmishers can be nice, they're really not the best way to handle hand cannoneers and stuff. I mean, you gotta have upgrades on the skirmishers. Skirmishers are really, really, really bad in the later ages unless you get their upgrades. They need max upgrades, definitely. Alright, so you can tell that I am pretty much storming through his base. He's trying to put up a fight. He's got his skirmishers, but I am pretty much steamrolling him. You can tell that I put up a wall to my base because definitely more often than not, usually when you Turk rush a guy, you'll usually end up killing him, but the other player might decide to sweep through your base because you have like a hole. So it's always a good idea to make sure that there is a wall on your side so that the other guy can't send in a bunch of knights to destroy your economy. You can see that I told my ally to attack an enemy now, because in general it's really, really, really dangerous to let the Persians build up. So you can also see that I turned off view lock, because you really don't need to know what I was looking at the particular time. And you can see what Plumbum is up to. One thing he forgot the stable upgrades for Persian war elephants, because they're cavalry units, so they do benefit from husbandry, which makes them move even faster, which is nice, and what is that, bloodlines? Yeah, bloodlines. So Pave, being a good ally, decides to attack. One thing that you can do, and I really don't mind playing with newer players, all you have to do is just be a team player. in these type of games is you have to listen to your allies. If your allies want something, you got to get it done to the best of your abilities, you know. So you can see that he's attacking. Plumbum has a lot of elephants. He's got a really good economy, and he just swarms me with elephants, and this is really bad. Like, elephants can be really brutal if you're not ready for them, and I honestly thought I could take them. I had, what, 2 control groups of hand cannoneers and like 5 bombard cannons. I honestly thought I could, you know, at least do a number on those guys, but they've got so much HP. So much HP. And you can see Plumbum is also making skirmishers too. Pave has got scorpions to help with that, but I just got destroyed, like in Planet Earth space. I just got swept by those elephants. They are just beastly. Some of you might be wondering tips on how to defeat Persian players. One of the things with the Persians is that if the guy's making elephants, and you really don't have to, there's an extreme, huge amount of strategies that you can do with really any civ. But if the Persian player is going elephants, well, he's going to be vulnerable for a long time. You probably want to rush or try and attack the Persian players early. Obviously, halberdiers really help against elephants. I mean, an elephant versus a halberdier, obviously the elephant will win the battle, but the halberdiers cost so little by comparison, so that's how you do it. One good thing with the Turks that you can see that I do is that I hide my hand cannoneers in the trees. And that's really nice because what you just want them to rack up damages. The best part about the hand cannoneers is probably their just close range bonuses. Anything close you can really hammer. It really looks like a stalemate right now. Things are not looking that good because I lost all of the room that I got in Planet Earth space, and it looks like Pave's in trouble. There's some trebuchets coming. I built a bunch of archer ranges in his base. A good thing to do if you're in a team game is to put lots of military buildings in your allies' base so you can help them much faster. One problem with Pave is that he definitely did not get his upgrades early enough. And this Plumbum just plainly forgot his stable upgrades. You really gotta think about it this way, is that anything that's on a horse or contains a horse is probably a cavalry unit. I mean, elephants are an exception, but you know, like, it's got 4 feet, so is it cavalry? Well, it's definitely not an archer, and it's definitely not an infantry, and it's definitely not a siege unit, so yeah, it's cavalry. And that would have really helped him. So you can see that I bunched my hand cannoneers together. If he made onagers instead of skirmishers, that would have totally screwed us up. There were definitely some mistakes on both sides. I was going to upload a different game than this one, but Fraps just decided that it wasn't going to record some of my recordings, so I just recorded this one instead. This match is all about the skirmishers, and I really got a lot to say on the whole skirmisher thing. They're really not as useful as a lot of people make them out to be. I mean, they're nice to use, but in this case, an elephant and skirmisher mix, which I see it a lot, is not really that useful because skirmishers aren't really covering anything that elephants are not. You can see that I just got absolutely schooled again in Planet Earth space when I decided that I was just going to attempt to cut in through that and attack Plumbum and make it so he has to fight a 2-front war. That did not work out. He sent lots of elephants. Eventually I fend the elephants off, and it looks like after lots and lots of fighting that we're finally making some progress on Plumbum. Obviously I had to cut a lot of this out. We were getting schooled. There were plenty and plenty of battles where Pave almost lost. But I figured it would be a much bigger priority rather than to kill Planet Earth to defend Pave, so that Plumbum wouldn't have more room to expand. And as you can see, I have pretty much destroyed Planet Earth again. I'm coming in there, and Plumbum says GG. So remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, guys, for more videos. The more likes I get, the faster I'll upload. And this was a pretty close game, even though it doesn't really look like it. It was a fun game, though. There was some great playing on both sides. Plumbum is definitely an amazing player. You know, besides stable upgrades, he was really on fire that game. Lots and lots of kills. I raised a lot of buildings. Trade profit's also really important. When you're in a team game, there are a bunch of things you need to watch out for. Is listen to your allies, build extra 10 centers in the Castle Age, and build lots of trade carts. Trade carts are really important. Don't just build one, build a lot. Alright, thanks guys.